This next video is going to be of Bane, who is a 6-month-old Hanoverian hound, and we're working on surface transitions, turns, and road crossings in preparation for some urban work. You're going to notice how he has some difficulty with some wind-blown scent on one of the turns and crossings across the road, and then we have a really unexpected distraction that was tough to deal with at the time, but really is a treat for us to watch now because we can learn so much from it. Enjoy the video.
He doesn't want to leave the strong odor of the scent pool and all our activity over here. The odor's stronger back on the car than the trail out in front of him. So his inclination is to stay where the odor's the strongest. That's why he went back. And in a case like this, we know he established a decent direction of travel, but what we may end up having to do is move past this scent pool a little bit to see if he can pick up that trail better. I love how he's working though. This casting back and forth like this with the nose is telling you that the scent is spread out, weak, or been blown back into his face a little bit. It's probably a combination of all of them. The wind is strong in our face, and you see how all of a sudden his level of intensity got a little bit better the further away we got away from that scent pool. It's because we're getting away from that stronger odor. Now he only has weak odor to work, so it's easier to concentrate on. So in a way, the scent pool behind us was a form of a distraction. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Big change took place. So either we have a trail that's down here more, yes we do, or we had a turn, I was going to say. There's your turn right there. Oh, that's your apex right there. You see that? Oh, that's beautiful. See, what he was asking about before was because the wind was in our face, is he going to cut that turn? And that's exactly what he did. But he's got odor right there. That's blown odor. Why do you think we have blown odor there? Don't tug him. Work with him. Let him go. Why do you think you have blown odor there? Because of the way that...
In this case, the dog is identifying almost the exact crossing point, but he's struggling with it because of the blown wind odor from the curve to his left coming back to where the crossing is. It's spreading out of a lot of odor in this general area, so the perfect crossing is a little bit difficult and it's masked.
Because of the way the turn's going, which is telling you that she went further this way too, but probably on the other side of the road. You got to be really careful about anchoring here because he had odor in the middle of the road. Because what happened is she crossed, went over here, but because the turn goes this way, we have blown odor from the turn coming here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Behind your dog. Okay. This is going to be one of those issues where scent memory can be affected, although he's working furiously. And the reason why he's working furiously is because our level of distractions are so low. So it's easy for him to do this. And see how he's going back and forth and there's no pattern to his scenting here? He's getting scent, but what this is telling me is this is all blown scent. And it's probably from a combination of the turn, and he's missed the exact spot where she was at. My guess is she's probably up on either on the wood line a little bit further up and he just blew it. Let him have that lead. Careful in here because I bet you that's where she was at. Why is this a good place for odor compared to other places, do you think?
There's a little bit of a...
Right. Depression. What's the other reason why it's good? Yeah, there we go. Good job, guys. I love how he's being so precise and he's not leaving it, okay? So if we start seeing that meter drop and he needs a little bit of help, let him have all that lead. Watch, watch, watch. Ooh, ooh, there you go. That's it. You see that? God, this dog is good. So you can see where the trail went, right? In your mind's eye, how did this trail go?
Right there and then went up here.
And stayed on the edge.
Yeah.
And we had blown odor that was in this depression because of this turn right here.
And that's from her trail right here.
Yes, yeah. When we get up to this corner, what I want you to do is take a look back, and when you look back, you'll see.
I think we're far, far away.
That was a proximity alert that he does whenever he starts getting close. But see, look back. See, if this was her trail, it's blowing right back on the turn.
So he had to work out where she stepped versus
Where the blown odor was.
That's why he kept...
Now, you see the need for patience here?
Yes.
Patience is a virtue in tracking more so than in almost any other type of dog work. Because our mind is moving. Ooh, there's another one. God, I love that. I wonder if we got another crossing too. Get to work.
Get to work. Hey.
That's more trail though. A lot of times when a dog comes back on the team and jumps on them, it's often...
I'm going to try to describe this next event as best I can because this is really an important situation. We've never run into this with this dog before. Watch his head pop to the right coming up. Bam, right there. The dog just picked something up and then quickly went back to work. Not knowing exactly what it is and the fact that the dog continued across this little dirt road, I'm thinking that our trail went across this way. But Bane gives it up. Why he does, I'm not exactly sure until he comes back. He starts searching, obviously, for the trail. At least that's what I'm thinking. I'm believing perhaps that we have a turn here because what we're practicing is road crossings and turns, 90 and 45 degree angle turns. We're doing it in a semi-double blind condition. We have a general direction of travel. We know who our trail layer is. We just don't know exactly how they laid the trail and what roads they crossed. So we're really relying on reading the dog's body language. As Bane comes around, watch his body language change coming up here. All of a sudden he picks something up. Wham, another head pop. But watch his tail drop. This tail made me really, really nervous, but because we were making these road crossings, and this seemed like a really great place to do it, I think perhaps maybe this is where our road crossing was. I should have known better. If you look at this tail and you look at this behavior, the dog's nose stuck in one place for a long time, you've got to be a little bit concerned about that. Against my better judgment, I told the handler, let's just go with it. The last turn had been a little bit tough. The wind was strong. It was really hot. I thought perhaps we might have our turn here. And then look, the dog picks it up again here on the other side of the road. So obviously we have a crossing. What is this crossing, though? Is it the subject that we're looking for? Is it something else? Really hard to say. We've never had a distraction out of this dog where the dog took another odor. But look at the body language changes here. Lots of big things happening. Slow movement. The dog's picking up odor on the ground. The biggest thing is this downward pointing tail. Something happened here. You know, we have a scent picture that's a little bit of an anomaly, and it's a distraction. At the time, I wasn't so sure, so we allowed the dog to work. I should have, in hindsight, given the dog a good correction. Watch the dog come back. I'm paying such close attention to the dog that I'm not watching a lot of other things, but notice how the tuft of hair on the back of the dog's back is coming up, and we're even looking a little bit more nervous. Pay attention to the highlight. That is a nesting turtle that was over there, and it's a very big one, about the size of a dinner plate. My guess is that the dog, Bane, tracked this female turtle across the road to this exact spot. The red marks where the trail was. The turtle spot is where the turtle is on the video. In this particular situation, the best thing to probably have done was to correct the dog. Because the dog was on this distraction for so long, several minutes, its meter dropped. It stopped getting interested in what it was looking for because the distraction was so big and we allowed the distraction. This is a perfect example of how trailing dogs lose the trail and can't start up again. Their scent memory is based on several things. Number one, their age. Number two, their overall drive level. Number three, the environmental conditions as they relate to distractions. If you have tough environmental conditions with high levels of distractions, you're going to have a dog that has a very, very low scent memory. In this case, we have a young dog. He's only a few months old, who's just now getting into these conditions, and the distraction was just too overwhelming for him. He wasn't able to pick up the trail just after, 3 or 4 minutes. So then comes the question, should we stay or should we continue? And it's always my position when I see a dog just absolutely not doing anything at this point to call it. Put the dog up with no fanfare, nobody's upset, nobody's angry, it's not a big deal. It's just one of those situations where we had a problem, we discovered what it was, and we'll never let it happen again. Now that I know what this body language is for this specific dog when it comes to following a distraction trail, I can probably correct it each and every time. The problem is I kind of knew to begin with, but I was very, very curious and I wanted to watch it play out. My mistake.